What's going on, bros? In today's video we're going to be doing the trunk setup for the air ride that we just installed, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so if you're new to the channel and like the content, like and subscribe. If you saw my last video, we did an air ride setup, and now we're going to get this trunk all organized. I went a little bit of a different route than most people. A lot of people buy the wood flooring and then cut it out to the shape, that way you could piece it together in the trunk. What I did is I had my girlfriend's brother come over and cut out some MDF. I'll show you that now. Alright guys, so these are the three pieces. We got this main big piece. We're not going to do a whole lot to this one besides mounting the manifold right about here, somewhere nice in the trunk, and then shaving out this little spot for the air lines and the cord for the manifold. This piece is where the air tank's going to be mounted to. I'm going to drill 4 holes in it for the tank, and then we're going to drill 4 holes through the firewall. I'm going to put those rib nuts I used in the last video. I'll show you a little bit more about those in a bit. I'm going to bolt the tank and this directly to the body, that way it's super solid, will never move. And then we got this little piece. Basically what I'm going to use this piece for is I'm going to put the purge valve and the water release under this side. That way it's easy access. I just take out this piece and we're good to go. Instead of going a wood color, I bought some carpet. It's up there. So we're going to be carpeting this too, give it more of like an OEM style look. And I'll show you what we got going on in the trunk. So basically I got carried away the other day, made these brackets for the air pumps. They weren't going to work too well sitting up there, so I figured back here will be nice. They are off the bottom of the wheel well, as you could see. They do have a little bit of play, but not enough to knock around or anything. Basically all I did was take some flat steel rod that I bought from Home Depot for like $5 or something, and I bent it with my vice grip, or with my 3-inch vise. I got this other side to do still, and I'll show you guys how that one works. And then I bought some Dynamat, basically some soundproofing mat to put underneath, that way there's no vibrations really. We're gonna put that mat on the bottom of this also, that way since this car's a hatchback, hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter, because if you guys have heard air tanks, air compressors, they're decently loud. They're not crazy ridiculous, but they're loud enough to be not enjoyable really. So hopefully with all that done, it'll be fairly quiet in here. So what we're gonna do now is finish mounting up this compressor, and then we'll get to all the wood pieces. So these are the brackets I made up. It's super simple. You just take the metal, measure it out, and stick it in the vise and bend it however you like. And then I drilled some holes in it for the mounts, and then I used the rib nuts in the body so that I could bolt it into the body of the car. So as you can see, this one's a little bit longer, and that's because, as you can see, this pillar right here curves a little bit, so we needed a bit longer on this side so that the two mounts would be even, so that when we mount the compressor it's not going to be all sideways. So we're going to figure out where to mount these. We're going to drill some holes in this part right here, mount these brackets up, and then we'll move to the next step. Alright, so now that I got the rib nuts in and the holes drilled, I'm going to mount this bracket to it now. Alright, so we're just going to slip this bracket underneath all these wires. Alright guys, got both the compressors mounted up. You can see it's pretty solid. It bounces a little, but it's never going to touch the ground. Now we're going to put the biggest piece of MDF in here, and then figure out where to, we're going to grind it right here, so we're going to put it in there so we can see where that mark is. And then we're going to grind that part out, and then we should be able to route the manifold up to the top so we can mark the holes for that also. Alright, so now that I have this little section marked off, I'm going to get my Dremel out and just hollow out this little section, and then we'll be able to find out where we want to mount the manifold, and then we could carpet this thing. Alright guys, we got a notch sanded out. That should be enough for the wires and the air lines. We're going to stick it in the car, find out. We're going to have to do some adjusting of all this stuff, so let's get it in the car and see what it looks like. Alright guys, I got a little carried away, forgot to pick up the camera, but I'll show you what I've done so far. I took the water filter off the tank because water is going to be dripping out of the bottom of this if it ever gets moisture in it. So I don't want it dripping on this MDF because that'll just ruin it. So I put this little fitting here. I'm going to run an air line I'm going to stick it right over here, and then we're going to, somewhere over here, I'm going to mount it, and then we'll run this to the, or I might even mount it right here, and then we'll run it to the manifold. So I got that done. I got all the rib nuts put in to this part so we could bolt the tank through here to that, and I got this hole drilled out. So this piece is actually ready to be wrapped in carpet, and so is this piece, but I'm still kind of trying to decide what to do with the manifold. I'm not sure if I want it up there and show it off or underneath and hidden. So I'm gonna figure that out while I wrap this other piece in carpet and we get that part wrapped up, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, it came out pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. This is what it looks like with the tank mounted on, so I'm going to put it in the trunk and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. This carpet is really awesome. I got it from the online fabric store. It's like automotive carpet, and I just used this 3M spray, and as you can see I already put the bolts in, so we just have to place it in the trunk and screw it in. So I'm going to do that and get back to you guys. So I got this part mounted in, it's all carpeted, looks really nice. Unfortunately these two rib nuts did not work because they were kind of at an angle, so they didn't screw in very well. So basically what I did is I bolted in the back two rib nuts to the body of the car, and that was pretty stable, so I just bolted these front two to the actual MDF, and it's super solid, does not move at all barely. So next thing we're going to do is wrap this other piece in carpet and mount the manifold to it, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, change of plans a little bit. I'm going to get the frame cut out for this big piece out of this 2x6 down here. What I'm going to do is just run two 2x6 down the middle here and then one each out the side, and I'll probably drill some holes for the wires to go through. So I'm going to get those cut out and we'll get them in the trunk, and then we could get this thing wrapped and put in the car. Missing someone, missing someone. Alright bros, there we have it. Everything's carpeted, mounted in the trunk, looks really good. This thing is locked down, and as you can see it looks pretty OEM. It's got all the carpet, looks really nice. So there you have it, guys. The trunk is all set up and that part of the install is done, and we can start moving on to some other things. The next video we're going to be doing a aftermarket steering wheel I got, so stay tuned for that. If you guys like the content, like and subscribe. We'll be putting out new content every week, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one.